Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Miami Talk with Cam Underwood from State of the U here each and every week. We appreciate your contributions. Continue to fill up the live chat with the comments and questions, and I will pass them on to Cam. Smash that like button. It's one way in which it churns up the YouTube algorithms and hopefully gets this video in particular into the traffic of these suggested videos off to the side and blows it up. So you can help us that way as well. And of course, subscribe, hit the like, the bell, that is for the notifications. That way you know when we're going live. So Cam, I'm sure you recognize the number there. The super chat can be a double-edged sword. So we appreciate the contribution there from SEC Dog, but 778 means something. I even recognize that number.
Yeah, that's how many yards we gave up to North Carolina. And
a lot.
The most in program history. You know, and I mean, look, and that's why I said it after that game. If you're talking about Mark D'Onofrio needed to be fired years ago, and we were giving up 500 and like low 600s, and we gave up almost 800 yards of offense, most of it rushing, which just feels worse. You know, it's one thing if it's Washington State or Texas Tech back in the day, and they're just chucking it all. But no, they're running counter and power down our throat again and again and again, and we couldn't stop it. It's a fireable offense. And Blake Baker works elsewhere now.
Yeah, I stated at the time, if you would have told me that North Carolina, that was my game of the week. I wanted to see that game more than any other game that week.
Yeah.
That if North Carolina was going to put up 62 and 778 in the yardage total, that I figured Sam Howell must have thrown for 550.
Yeah.
But when they threw the ball 19 times and it was all on the ground, most of it on the ground, that
reminds me when my first year teaching at Deerfield Beach High School in 2005, my first full year of teaching, Deerfield Beach made it to the state championship game, and it was played at Dolphin Stadium, now Hard Rock, and they played against Palm Beach Gardens. And they had a do-it-all everything player, Matt Elam, who ended up going to Florida, the safety, and he played in the NFL. And he played weak side linebacker and running back, and they ran the ball every play of the game, except for they threw one play action pass for an 85-yard touchdown. And like literally, you could go look up or it was like a 70 something. It was a long touchdown. It was one play drive, 75, 80, something like that. And literally every other play that day, they ran the ball. Elam had like 20 tackles, a sack, and interception. He also had like 35 carries for 200 something yards. It was like crazy. But like in that same stadium, that's the feeling that I had watching North Carolina against Miami this year. It was just, they're going to run it. You know they're going to run it, and you're not going to be able to stop it. And it was just, it did not feel good, and it harkened back to 15 years prior for me. And that, like I said, not a positive emotion.
MSU #1 fan is asking, of course, about the Michigan State game. Well, we're going to know a lot more about that in about 7 months. I don't know that there's a whole lot to talk about right now. Michigan State's not anywhere close to the program that they were.
To the end, rah, rah, rah. See, that line is weakening. We're gonna win this game. Fight, rock team, fight. Victory for MSU. Yeah, you can take that, my thing. But yeah, I mean, I'm from Michigan. Like, yeah, I have friends who root for Michigan State, Aaron Fields and them. Shout out to Fields. I know they're going to try to come down and hang out for the game and everything, go watch Sparty. But in general, I think this is a game that Miami should clearly win. I think that they're a more talented team. Miami is a more talented team than is Michigan State. The thing for Michigan State is, though, I've watched them win games like this or compete in games like this for 30-something years. You know, whether it's against Michigan, who's a more talented team, whether it's against Ohio State, where they've ruined a couple of their seasons back in the 90s and 2000s, whether it's against other ranked teams, the Drew Brees, Purdue teams. Well, I know everybody wants to say, well, it's Drew Brees and Purdue. Yeah, but he had them top 15. You know what I mean? And that was when Purdue was nothing. You know, coming up, whether it's a Penn State team coached by Joe Paterno that was pretty good, a national championship kind of a team. If you're looking to bowl games and other cross-sectional kind of games, you know, Michigan State loves being the underdog. They love they relish that role because they are. And look, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it because, you know, I come from, I mean, I'm a Michigan fan and I have friends and family who went to the University of Michigan. Michigan State is little brother. They are the other school. You know, if anybody says, oh, well, you know, oh, you're from Detroit. Oh, University of Michigan. That's it. You know, it is the more well-known brand. That's what people are going to say and think. And yeah, Michigan State they have that underdog mentality. And, you know, that, and again, my personal history of the fact that I'm from Detroit and have seen more Michigan State games than probably anybody else who's, you know, around on this live stream right now, going back, like I said, 30, 35 years, that informs my skepticism, the fact that I'm on higher alert maybe than others. Again, I don't think this should be a game. I don't think this should be close. I think that Miami should clearly and easily win this game. But I've thought that about Michigan State games, about their opponents in other times, and it has ended up being differently. And for me, that's why I've circled that day on the calendar, and I want to really just hone in, because if we mess around a little bit, and Michigan State is one of the great teams in, if you let me hang around into that late third, fourth quarter, I mean, you can go back and look for years. If you let them hang around a little bit, ask Michigan, you know, even the last couple of years, you let them hang around and all of a sudden, go green, go white, they're chanting and cheering and singing that fight song at the end of the day. And I don't want that. So, I mean, like I said, for me, I'm on a little bit more of high alert just because of my proximity to and visage of Michigan State. But, you know, just if you put them on paper, Miami should win easily.
I'm going to bet that I'm either first or second in the live stream and watching a number of Michigan State games. I keep pretty close tabs on the Big Ten. 1998, 2000, and as recently as 2013 and 15, Michigan State upended number 1 and undefeated Ohio State teams.
Hello. Oh, with the kicker doing the all the way down the field. I loved that moment. Oh, that was an incredible moment. Oh, what a day.
That was just a ridiculously talented Ohio State team that was 11-0.
Right. And again, that informs my point that they were ridiculously talented. They were 11-0 until Michigan State went to the horseshoe. That's what I'm talking about. That kind of thing like that. And I think that for Michigan State, a national brand, a well-known program and team like Miami is going to have that same kind of raised status in East Lansing. I don't know what they do during that week. I don't know how they treat things differently. But like I said, for 30, 35 years, I've seen the result from what they do in those showcase weeks. Not invariably, not every single time, but I've seen it enough that I'm not scared of it, but like it's on my radar. So I know that we cannot take them lightly.
That Michigan State team bled the clock to death. And that game might have only lasted like 2 hours and 45 minutes. That was like the shortest game, you could imagine. And I remember sitting there with my son, and it was a 14-all game with about 4 minutes left. Ohio State had the ball dangerously in its own end. And after they got behind the sticks, I said to him, this game might be over. And he's like, what? And I said, it was one of those games where if it got to 2nd and 13, you're not getting a first down. It's just one of those games. Ohio State needed Mears and Smoke just to get 14 points. They didn't like drive the ball for 14 points. They couldn't do anything that day. Ezekiel Elliott had like 31 yards rushing. And so I'm like, they're at their own 3-yard line, and there's only 3.5 minutes left in this game. They're going to be punting from their own end zone. Sure enough, they punted out to the 40, 45-yard line. Michigan State just bleeds the last 3 minutes, just get like one first down barely, and then they kick the game-winning field goal. Game's over.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the one little spot in Michigan State history in which they were different, but they still never shook that tag, that label that you just depicted, was from about 2010. Actually, it was 2010. They had an 11-1 team to 2015. They actually became a power, a giant, college football playoffs and finishing in the top 5, but for about 5 years there.